Uncertainty looms over Trump-Putin Budapest meeting. In a day of dramatic back and forth, the latest Reuters report says that the meeting might not happen in the immediate future. This comes at the back of a slew of developments. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov accused Poland of being ready to carry out a terrorist act. This after Polish Foreign Minister said on Polish radio he could not guarantee that an independent Polish court will not order the government to escort Putin's aircraft down to hand the suspect to the court at The Hague. Before that, Lavrov called out Western media for misinformation. He expressed surprise upon learning from US media that the upcoming Russia-US summit might be postponed. Speaking at a news conference in Moscow, Lavrov said many Western news outlets, including CNN, are well known for their lack of integrity. All this as the prospects brightened with Zelensky along with the European countries agreeing for a battle line freeze. Our correspondent Susan Tehrani is now joining us live from New York. Susan, what's the update on this back and forth debate between whether President Trump and President Putin will meet in Budapest?
Well, according to the latest news from a White House official, they're not going to be meeting anytime soon, not in Budapest, Hungary, not anywhere. And while there is that issue of the Polish airspace and the ICC arrest warrant that Lavrov alluded to, after the conversation between Lavrov and his American counterpart, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, it was clear, and Russia made clear, that it wants a peace deal before a ceasefire, and it's looking for long-term peace. And one of those aspects for that peace would be for Ukraine to hold elections, because they just don't consider Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky to be the legitimate president of Ukraine, the Russians. Now, also, it appears that there's just too much daylight between the two, the United States and Russia. And perhaps the United States wants to prevent another photo op, as critics had called it, between Putin and President Trump before some kind of agreement is reached on a lower level between the Secretary of State and the Russian foreign minister. Lavrov in that press conference said that Russia made clear that its position has not changed. So the United States might feel that Russians aren't able to, or willing to give any concessions before this meeting, and everything stands basically as it did before Alaska and after Alaska. So nonetheless, it appears that meeting is not going to happen. The White House did play down the fact that there isn't going to be a in-person meeting between Lavrov and Rubio either, because they said that they already had a conversation on the phone and they don't see an in-person meeting to be necessary. But a lot of analysts are viewing that as sort of, again, being just too much daylight between the two. Now, the question now remains, was Russia sort of relieved that they get a go-ahead, a green light, that the United States wasn't going to give Ukraine those Tomahawks that it's been asking for? That's why it decided not to give any concessions. Or are the Tomahawks now back on the table between Ukraine and the United States and Europe as well? So a lot of questions left unanswered, but as of now, it appears that there wasn't any breakthrough between the Rubio-Lavrov call.
All right. We'll see how that pans out. Susan Tehrani, thank you.